What up, everyone? NanMan here, and we've got another modern Magic battle here on NanMan's Nerd Corner. And this one is a fast-paced game. We don't normally have the fast ones, but we had a bit of a longer, grindier one on Monday, one that was 46 minutes long. So sometimes when we do have those long ones, we like to sprinkle in the fast ones in the same week. And, that does happen. Sometimes there are a bit of stompings and one-sidedness. There was a comment left on our Selesnya Boggles versus Abzan Rhino that was the case, that players were like, wow, that seems so one-sided. And sometimes it's the case. Sometimes you get to see the, like, okay, we're keeping up with it, we're doing the thing, and then it just sort of, the deck just falls on its face. I mean, I in particular was just playing elves at the LGS this previous week, so we've got some elf content coming up, and there was always a game that I took off an opponent. And then there would be these moments where it would be like, oh, nope, I just fell on my face. And they just kind of were able to snowball into victory. So we'll see how that worked out in some of the games there. But, that happens. That's part of the nuanceness of Magic, especially 60-card format there. Like, there is some elements of decision-making and, deciding to play certain cards in certain orders. Like in this case, we've got Pinnacle Emissary, a Memnite, Welding Jar, great little turn one Swarm with Drones. So we're setting ourselves up for potentially a turn two Kappa Cannoneer here, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Cost 6 to be able to play, so potentially we'll see. But ignoble high for our Yawgmoth player. So let's talk a little bit about what both of these decks are trying to do real quick. If you're playing Izzet Affinity, it is reminiscent of the old school style of Affinity, where you've got a lot of low-cost, cheap creatures that you could be able to try to go wide with, especially with our Pinnacle Emissary there, being able to make some drones, and those are those sleeves there to represent the drone tokens. I know we need to have the infinite tokens there. I keep saying it on the channel to try to almost remind myself to do that, to be able to set it up so we can make sure I put that in with my recording equipment, because I have all that stuff in a bag that I lug with me to my LGS and set up all the filming stuff here. But no infinite tokens at the moment. They're just sitting on my shelf right now, especially with the fact that, I'll sometimes be on stream and play Commander with people, and it's nice to have the infinite tokens to be able to do that. But on the other side of things, let's finish off talking about Affinity while the Dredger's Insight resolves. Affinity does have that go wide potential, but it also has the pure style, just like previous versions of Affinity, in the sense with Kappa Cannoneer, with being able to run the equipment. And now I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head. Somebody who is not as brain dead as I am in the middle of the week, tell me what the name of the equipment. You can attach it for black mana, or you can equip it, and it gives the creature +1/+0 for each artifact you control. My brain wants to say Skull Clamp, but that's the sack and draw card, so it's not Skull Clamp, but it's, I don't know. Somebody help me. My brain's fried. So let's talk about Golgari Yawgmoth. The Yawgmoth lists have gotten new life with Badgermaul Cub, Dredger's Insight, Badgermaul Cub. Those sort of, in tandem have really helped to let the Yawgmoth players have a little bit more fun in Modern, as the deck kind of was on a decline for quite a bit here. It just was not where you're like, all right, I got to set up like essentially 3-card combos aren't as relevant and powerful anymore. But Yawgmoth, namesake of the deck, hitting the battlefield, and we've got a Boseiju hidden. Well, attempting to hit this Urza's Saga, but we'll be able to make a construct in response, and then go and find a, of course, basic land type, so you don't have to just get a basic, right? You've got a Surveil land in there, you've got a Shock land, grab those when Boseiju's doing its job. But yeah, Yawgmoth, of course, is the namesake of the deck because it is all about the -1 counters, sacking creatures, drawing cards, giving yourself a nice little way to manipulate the battlefield a little bit more and potentially win, right? That's like one thing you need to do. But with players running Pithing Needles and things like that, that might not be the case, and that's a good reason why we are shutting down that Urza Saga immediately, because we do not want that to pop up and cause a bunch of problems. So let's see. What is... No Kappa Cannoneer at the moment. No. Another land. Ooh. And that's a tap land, too. Alright, so we can make a construct here. So the black sleeves are construct. We could... Alright, let's math it out here. That's make a construct this turn. Lava Spur Boots to give something haste. Could we haste it up? Yeah, right? One. Oh, no, next turn. Right? It's all the same. Equip. Well, sorry. Play Lava Spur Boots. Can cost 1 to equip. So we could... Yeah, that's the thing. I guess it's the way it's lined up is you can't play Lava Spur Boots and equip it and make the construct. If that land was anything other than the fast land there, we would be fine. But it is the fast land, so that kind of stops us here. But go for the beats, counting it up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 damage total. And now we've got the mana left to make another construct. Drops our Yawgmoth player to 5. Let's see. Basic forest here. Agatha's Soul Cauldron. And courting for 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. Going to court for Young Wolf here. And we have this Walking Ballista that we can cast for the price of for free. And now we can do some manipulation. So Agatha's Soul Cauldron will exile the Walking Ballista. Young Wolf will be able to shoot you for 1, sacrifice it. It'll come back with a +1 counter on it. I'll shoot you for 1. And I'm staying net 0 because we're gaining a life. So, yeah, again, you kind of need 3 cards to combo here. But we have the 3 cards we needed to just line things up perfectly here. So, yeah, here's how it's laid out. Oh, my gosh. What a way to, like, that's the thing about the Yawgmoth list, is, like, they're really good and really powerful in certain situations, especially if you could be able to find those lines, and they reward players who have played them consistently to find those lines. Our Yawgmoth player here, she's been piling the deck for, I don't know, years now, it feels like. So she is able to be like, oh, okay, in this situation, I can find these specific cards and set myself up for success. But we see a little bit of the sideboard action. We don't always get to see it on camera, but with the way that the angle worked out today, we get to see a little bit. And this, I think, is really cool to see for our Izzet Affinity player, because we get to see this like almost debate. Going,
we're interrupting our gameplay to let you know about our new affiliate with Nerd Gear. Nerdgear.gg/NanMan will take you directly to the website, and as you can see, they've got a bunch of awesome gaming accessories from playmats, life counters with the life tracks, playmat holders, and more. So make sure you do some browsing on the site, find some goodies, and then use the code NGNanMan for 5% off your entire order. But let's get back to our gameplay.
All right, let's get back into it. Let's see what we can have happen in game number 2 here as these players are loading up. Of course, make sure you guys are checking out the Nerd Gear stuff. You know, there's dice, +1 counter dice, D20s, there's sleeves, there's playmats, there's playmat holders, you know, the life tracks that we see on camera. You know, they even have bundles in case you're into some bundle in there. So, yeah, some very, very cool stuff to check out. I highly recommend you give it a chance. There's the Commander's shields that are pretty cool. They're like a little bit more heavy-duty, thicker cases for your Commander. Like a pack of 5 there is like $10. And, of course, we do have the little deal, so you can be able to set yourself up to get a little bit of discount, 5% off. Use our code there. But let's get into it. Big wave and dump of the hand, but Force of Vigor going to get utilized here. Get rid of the mana. Let's see if that's enough to shut off our Izzet Affinity player for a little bit. I mean, the Mem Knight there is nice. Oh, Kappa, though. Okay, we could... I like the equip. Combat. Young Wolf exiled, Force of Vigor, and the scoop there. Oh, yeah. You know, when you are playing an Affinity deck and your opponent gets both their sideboard cards immediately and just blows out all of your mana, I think this is a apt response of just like, nope, that's it. GG, I'm out. I'm not doing that. So that was a nice abrupt end to this one. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I don't know. We sometimes like to put up some stuff like this for you to be able to experience, but sometimes there's stompings in 60 card format. It is what it is, but that's going to do it for us here today. Thanks so much for tuning in and watching all, and I'll see you all next game.